Alright, y'all, it's time for another Gekishin Squadra half anniversary tier list here. So, God Vegeta has been out for about a day and a half at this point, and I've had a lot of time to use him, play against him, kind of understand how his kit works. And I think he's a very straightforward character, so there's not really much to like take in for him where I'm like, oh man, maybe I want an extra few days. No. Along with that, there are some updates to this, I think, in general, with the new different kind of adjustments to a lot of these characters. I think I made a couple changes here to the list compared to last time, so we'll also be covering that. Now, there's a couple of things I do want to confirm before we actually fully set things down. Number one, this is an S rank lobby kind of tier list, A or S rank lobby, where this is like, okay, considering that you have experience with these characters, considering that, you're in those realm of lobbies. So, I think a tier list from like a C rank perspective or a solo queue perspective could be different. But this is my perspective where I usually queue with at least like one or two people, and I'm in these higher rank lobbies. So that's where this opinion derives from. And that's kind of it, really. I just want to make sure I point that out because obviously I think a solo queue tier list could look drastically different. So do keep that in mind, but I try to be as fair as possible to every single character on this list. And I guess the second thing I want to point out is that no one's bad in this game for the most part. I think there's like one or two characters you could really look at and say, yeah, they're a bad character. But I think that especially everyone A and higher is usable in the meta, and in certain situations could look like some of the better characters in the game. Even it just depends on how good you are and the situation that you may be in, like the certain matchups you could be in, right? But that's where it's like some of these characters have more holes than others or are a little bit more situational. So anyways, with all that being said, let's actually hop into the list here and talk about what things are looking like. So we're going to start off with the B tier. B stands for buff them, because I think these characters do need buffs. They're kind of on the lower end of the tier. Now, not saying that each characters can't like get buffs either, but I think these are the characters that stand out to me as the ones that need buffs the most. We just fill it in. God Topo, is the first character here, not necessarily because he's like bad or anything. Well, he kind of is on the, I don't know, he's kind of bad right now. God Topo, just feel like he doesn't really have a lot of presence. His counter is really the most dangerous thing to him, but I feel like his ult is kind of mediocre, especially when it comes to like a boss mode kind of meta. Like you have to get your stacks on the boss and then you have to do your ult after, whilst you have a character like Super Saiyan Goku throws his ult out, you're good, right? God Topo's ult's kind of slow as well. I'm not really a fan of it. His skill 1 is just kind of bad. It's not really good. His skill 2 is decent, right? We take that. But I just think God Topo needs a little bit more to him. Maybe even just make him a little bit tankier. I think he can get melted pretty easily, honestly. Like, you don't really have an issue with him. His damage is not necessarily bad, but I just feel like he is like not really too tanky. I mean, we could even see sustained damage is up here, and I assume that is because like he takes a lot of damage. Like obviously we could take a look like the gammas I feel like are going to be lower end in there. We could look at Broly Leader. Actually, I don't know, the gammas are pretty tanky, so I don't know what this chart is kind of like, but yeah, I really think that Topo just needs more to his kit, honestly. I think toy around with the changes, see where he underperforms. That's where it's like the stats in each game I think matter, but yeah. Next we have Deborah. I mean, Deborah is still, I think, the worst DPS in the game. I think pretty clearly. Now Deborah gets like, okay, before I had Deborah in his own tier, I have him right here now, only because of the God Vegeta existence. I think Deborah could actually be a pretty nice play into God Vegeta, but it's situational. Again, and God Vegeta could still outplay Deborah even at that point. But I'm like, I think you could use him to a certain effect because there's so many God Vegetas around. But if you're like a God Vegeta player and you see Deborah, I mean, it's not like you're instantly cooked. And even then, you could just, I mean, honestly, you can grab limit breaking jump if you're really having issues, so then you're not really gonna ever have an issue against Deborah ever again. So that's kind of it with Deborah. I mean, he has things to do things, right? Does that make sense? Like, obviously, he has a way to counter God Vegeta. I just don't think it's super drastic where he's like, oh, dude, this is the counter to God Vegeta. He's S tier. No, 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 no. But we all know about Deborah. There's not really much else to say there. Next is 18. 18. I think I'll probably put 18 above Deborah. 18's really good early game, but she just falls off late game. I think losing that destructive disc late game is really unfortunate. She just needs more late game, honestly. Like, if she was able to do a little more late game, I think that'd be really useful for her. I'm not sure what I would really change for 18 though. Obviously, she does have like decent damage, but she just kind of gets like outranged, I think, by so many of these key blast attacks. So maybe, I don't know, destructo disc mega buff, who knows? But that's kind of the thing with 18. I don't know. She's an early game demon, but early game isn't even as important now as it was previously. Like, I feel like season 3 early game was way more important. Now it's not really. Again, fights are longer. There's more farm. You don't have to necessarily contest for Kai if it's not something that you like. If you're like a character like Sal who would struggle early game contesting for Kai, well, now you don't have to, so that's a good thing. But yeah, that's kind of it. And again, we'll get to Sal later, so actually, again, is in a higher tier this time, which is good. But who still stays here, I think, is Baby. I think Baby is just a little weak right now. He just kind of, honestly, I think they just need to do something with his skill 3, or his possession. I think his skill 3 could still be increased a little bit, but I think Baby's possession is a part of his kit that's like he never used. So I think, you know, this is like a big part of what Baby I think is balanced around, is this ability to possess an enemy. But the fact that you have to specifically land the finisher yourself, I think, is really unfortunate. Something else they could do, I think it could be very interesting, is if, okay, well, Baby has the possession and it has like a pretty decent like cooldown on it. What if the ally that Baby is possessed, like, okay, let's say Baby possesses a Topo ally or something like that, and then the possession ends. To that ally specifically, what if he's able to use the skill early, like, you know, at half cooldown, rather than, oh, you know, the full cooldown. If you already possess the ally, you could repossess them quicker. That could be something cool, maybe. Especially since I feel like you're going to be possessing more so one ally anyways. Or if there is some way to like residually like heal the ally even after you leave them in possession, because Baby does have the implant, like, you know how he implanted Trunks and took over Trunks' body again, like that. He did so with Goten and Gohan as well, but you guys get the point. But yeah, I mean, this possession could be really interesting if it also applies to assists. If you could choose to possess an ally by landing an assist on them, could be really, really good for him. But yeah, I think Baby, outside of that, I don't know. He just kind of doesn't do enough. He just doesn't have that much of a presence, like, outside of possession. I don't know. He just kind of, like, what do you do with him? I think Gotenks is close to being, like, A tier, honestly. Unironically, he just needs his skill 1 to be fixed, and that's kind of like the biggest thing, honestly. His skill 1, if his skill 1 gets buffed, that'll really help this guy out quite a lot, honestly. His ultimate got buffed, which is really good for him. It applies a silence, which is no skills attacks, which is, again, a very good effect. And it's a lot easier to land now that they've made it faster. So that's, again, a really, really good thing there. Big fan of that. Donut, I think Donut could be sped up a little bit, honestly. I still am not really a fan of it, but I know a lot of people do like it. And I think that you can set up some pretty nasty things if you know what you're doing with Donut. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, skill 1 is not that great. His ghosts are like fine. Like, I don't think there's really an issue with them. Maybe they could be a little better, or they could do a little more damage, honestly. Like, his ghost definitely could do a little more damage, I would say. Like, buff the damage on the ghost maybe, and then skill 1 just like make it faster, or make it not like drop. This is fine as well. Like, I think Gotenks, like, just, he doesn't even need that much to be a competitive character. He doesn't. He just needs to get that slight bump, and then I think he'll be kind of good to go, honestly. All right. So next we have our A tier, which is honestly, it's funny. A tier is not even the largest tier that we have right now. This is just characters that I feel like, you know, don't necessarily like need a buff, but would probably, yeah, they're still good. Like I would think they're like, this is like a 7 to 8 out of 10 A rank, honestly. Like again, these characters are good and can show off. I think probably the best A rank DPS is probably Kale. It's between Kale and Bojack. Especially on Superstar, these guys are demons. And I think these guys, like a lot of A ranks, I think these characters really benefit from Superstar and having that extra juice at the beginning of the game. I think really helps them out. Bojack, again, is a character that benefits from that. He actually had his skill 3 buffed. Bojack's skill 3 is really good, honestly. Applying the no vanish is really crazy. He could end up doing some pretty good damage. I think his skill 1 earlier on could be a little bit better. They could definitely buff that skill 1. His ultimate has never really been changed. I think his ultimate is fine though, as kind of like time passes on. But I think that they could definitely make the ultimate a little bit better. Like early game, for sure. His subordinates passive skills, I feel like if there's maybe a way that you could select which one you want to use, or if they did a little more, I think that could be cool too, because I feel like they don't really have that much of an effect in the battle. They're just kind of like an extra thing there. But yeah, I mean, Bojack is good though. Like Bojack and Kale are good. Kale has the new skill 2 combo, which really helps her out. Actually, I do like that skill 2 combo. She does still really good burst damage. Superstar, like, it's very hard to contest Kale on Superstar for Kai. So you're like kind of almost forced to back farm when Kale's on Superstar. It's just like very tough. Like certain characters can still out secure her, but yeah, her ultimate I think is still quite good. No obstruction is really nice. She could stagger. I think Kale's a good character overall. She just has obviously the no mobility weakness, but it's not even that bad. She can do a lot of damage as well. I'm a fan of her. She's kind of like a weaker God Goku, but she's still really good. Like it's kind of weird to say that because like it's more so in the sense that both of them don't really have mobility, rather than, you know, kind of. But God Goku has pretty even decent like burst damage with his skill 1. His skill 2 is like also just like a repeated amount of damage, but unlike Kale's, his is just like the finger gun, whilst hers is just like kind of the area that kind of explodes, which could be good. And then next we have Broly. I had Broly lower before, and I do think Broly's the weakest of these A tier characters, but he can benefit from the divine draws, I think, that are out right now more than these 3 characters, such as Superstart, such as skill 2 cooldown. I think it helps this guy a lot. But he's just like so weak to meta picks right now. Like this guy just gets obliterated by meta picks. It's unfortunate. He like any energy damage just melts this guy. That's the issue. Like if he was not so weak to energy blast, he would actually go quite a bit up, honestly. But he's a team fighter character that isn't really good for team fights. I feel like his ult is decent. They nerfed it recently, which does suck. It feels a lot slower now, and I just think that it's like it's so easy to not get caught by this ultimate now. It's very unfortunate. Even though it applies the movement speed down, it feels so slow now, man. Like his ult is like almost a nothing in team fights. It could help for boss secures at times, but it's not like I ever did like crazy mega ton damage, you know. Broly himself never really did crazy damages. He was just good at like applying pressure, and you know, if you needed his ult to do damage, you had it there as an option, but now it's not really there anymore. And I just feel like the fact that he's also weak to energy blasts, which again, like I said, most meta characters are energy based, and we're gonna continue seeing a bunch of energy blast characters because it's Dragon Ball. Like they need to fix this for Broly, for sure. Next we have Zamasu. Zamasu is just a tanky good character. I think that Zamasu is pretty straightforward. He has a lot of slow. I think I really like the slow in Zamasu. The only reason why he isn't higher is I just think late game he kind of falls off a little. And honestly, I think like mid and late game is shifted to be more important than early game now, honestly. So that's another thing for Zamasu. Zamasu was like a super good early game pressure character, But honestly, like mid and late game is a lot more important because that's where the big bosses like Rubrian and Jacko are. And I think at that point, um, a lot of times you will end up in like a lot of these tower skirmishes potentially. So whilst early game is important, it's not as big of a deal if you lose early game. And Zamasu being like a super huge early game pressure character, right? Uh Loses a little bit of value there, but Zamasu is still pretty good, honestly. And his skill 3 on Superstar, again, another Superstar kind of character, this guy is able to do cook really, really well. Next, we have Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I honestly think this guy, like, you could argue him better as Zamasu. I just think, not only in season 4 did he, like, I feel like the nerfs to him aren't, like, that bad, honestly. Like, they're not like a drastic nerf where, I could almost say maybe I can move my tier up, but I just think I would use like every other tank in the tier above over this guy if I had to choose. Because again, these nerfs weren't too crazy, but it just adds on to the fact that, well, now again, like he got these nerfs that he didn't really need, so he's just worse by a product of it. Well, this is a buff, but like this is a nerf, and then this is an nerf. And again, it's not like too crazy, but like you could still feel the differences here. He has less damage fall off in Final Shine attack, but like I kind of don't care about the damage this guy does on his ult. Like the ult I think has a different purpose than damage to me. And they nerfed the major purpose for it, which is the force move, right? Like you're forcibly moved back. That's the biggest thing about it. While the extra damage is really nice, it's not like Super Saiyan 4 is doing crazy damage with his ult in the first place. Like he does decent damage, but this movement speed down, you could really feel that too, especially like as you level it up more. I just like, whew, very unfortunate. Kind of feels like the hit nerf where it's like, I feel like this nerf is fine, but this guy did not need just like, I don't know. I think if they're gonna nerf something in a skill 2, should have still been the stagger. Or even like the range a little bit, but I think they nerfed the wrong thing about it again, just like hit skill 2. I don't know. Yeah, like right here. And again, he's still good, but it's just like he's not top tier anymore like he once was, in my opinion anyways. Next we have Sal. I think Sal actually is able to hold his own a lot better now because of the extra farmer on the map. I talked about him a lot in the last video, so I don't really have to go too in depth for this guy. But Sal's good right now. Like he gets a lot of the back farm. He builds up his gauge a lot easier. Skill 2 could be very menacing. The ultimate I think comes out a lot faster with the energy field duel, which allows you to pick someone off a little bit easier. He still has this ult to help you boss flip, which is good. Skill 1, move speed down. I actually really like this skill 1. Skill 3 needs a buff. I think if this guy gets like a slight HP buff and then, or not even a slight HP buff, make this bioenergy, he gets like a lower amount from enemies, mobs specifically compared to team fights. If he's able to get a little more from like farm on the map in terms of bioenergy, that alone will help this guy, but also give him anti-CC in the regeneration. And this guy is actually shooting up on the list for sure. But yeah, next we have our technicals here, which will end up being a Krillin and Frieza. I mean, Frieza used to be lower. I think Frieza, actually, again, with all the farmer on the map, he benefits from that quite a lot, especially like the back farm Kais that spawn like every minute, basically. This guy benefits from that. You can just set Zarbon and Dory in the back, and he just gets so much XP very easily. Krillin's good, especially on Superstar. I mean, Zarbon Superstar is very nasty as well. Again, they're just good characters. There's not much really for me to say. Like, there's not specifically anything particularly that points out to me as, oh, they're like toxic, right? And we've talked about these characters before in previous lists, but I think they deserve to be in this tier. I think Krillin especially has really interesting things that you can do with all the blind and smoke he has now available, and the mines having the blind as well is pretty impactful. And they buffed Krillin, I believe, in this last patch. If we go ahead and take a look here, the mines actually did get buffed. As you see, the secondary explosion was reverted back, so the damage he does with his mines is even better now. Well, I say better, but more so quicker, which is a good thing. And Frieza is just kind of annoying, honestly. But yeah. Sorry, I made a cut because I'm a fat ass and wanted to go grab some food. I got delivered. I recorded this 5 a.m. I haven't slept. Now we have S tier. So again, S tier is more like a 8 to 9 out of 10. I would say very strong characters. Probably more so 9 out of 10, honestly. Like, these guys have little weaknesses. Very good. So I'm actually gonna still put Kefla here. I think Kefla is still really good. A lot of people are disappointed. There's some people that like are disappointed that they got nerfed, and they're like, are you happy that they got nerfed now? Now they can't be used. Kefla's still really good, guys. She still is able to do a lot of damage. She still has crazy movement speed. Her ultimate's still very insane. She still has a lot of mana restoration, and she just takes more skill now. However, if you know how to use Kefla and you adjust to these changes where it's like, oh, now she can't get 2 or 3 vanishes with her skill 1. Whoop-de-doo. You have to make sure that you're not making misplays and that you can just escape from for free. Like, you just have, I mean, you have to be more skilled at the game. That's just how it is. But if you are, and you know how to use Kefla well, she could still be a very strong character. Very, very, very much so. Skill 2, like I said, it got a slight damage nerf, but it's still like good. Skill 3 was also still just really good as well. I mean, a lot of people didn't even really level her skill 1 in the first place. Like, skill 2 and skill 3 being leveled up kind of is what people do now, especially now, right? But yeah, no, Kefla's still good. She's just not like super oppressive over mega powered godly power anymore. Like, you just need to know what you're doing with her. But the right hand, she could look very nasty. Diamond Goku, also very good. I mean, he just has 90% damage reduction and powerful dance for no reason. Does a lot of damage with skill 1, skill 3, or skill 1, skill 2. His ultimates are very good. They just, he has he has iframes in his ultimate, and based on the damage he receives, he does damage back. So this is really good for boss secures, really good in team fights. Again, you could build him multiple different ways. He's super hard to kill. He could outrange you. Like, he could burst damage you. He just does so much. He does so much. I almost would say he would be better than Kefla right now, but I think it depends. It's situational. But yeah, I think it's closer now. That's why, like, Kefla used to be in Z tier. I don't think she's in Z tier anymore. At least in my opinion. You can make her look Z tier if you know what you're doing, but yeah. Next we have I think I'll put Piccolo here. Yeah, Piccolo. There's a couple of DPS here that I think, you know, could match. I guess I'll put these 3 actually. These guys right here. Piccolo, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Trunks. I think they're like somewhat close to each other in terms of power. But they're really good. Super Saiyan 3 Goku especially. I mean, I'm arguably, I think I will put Super Saiyan 3 Goku here above Piccolo. Yeah, because Piccolo is really good, but I feel like Piccolo, like, you see Piccolo in match and he has a target on his back, and it just sucks for him a little bit. If he had, I don't know, I want to see more range in his like second level special beam cannon, but like, if he was able to hide a little bit more effectively with special beam cannon there, it could be really nice. Paired with hit though, really good for him. Special beam cannon is really good for boss secures. I mean, it's good in team fights too, honestly, if you know what you're doing. I mean, we have so many tanks now that just hold enemies in place. So special beam cannon could actually help you there. Skill 1 is very good as well, but skill 3 is kind of wonky. It's a decent escapage. Skill 2 is kind of mid. I feel like skill 2 maybe could be a bit better, but Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's kind of just like back to what he was in season 1. Obviously at this point we have so many other good characters that he's not like the sole up like mega god of the game that a lot of people felt like he was, even though in my opinion I always thought Super Saiyan Goku was better than Super Saiyan 3. This guy right here, still very nasty. I mean, yeah, he does so much damage if you know what you're doing with him. You could get level 8 very easily for him by the time like second boss comes up, and you could even be level 7 for him by the time first boss is up, because he's very easily able to just teleport around the map, get back farm, then he could go to back farm, then teleport back to mid for the Kai fight, and then go back to get back farm, and then just get so much XP from that. Because he has basically 12-second map wide teleport as long as you have vision on the enemy. Like, yeah, it's pretty good. Trunks, I think, is actually really good right now compared to what he used to be. I think the skill 2 cooldown is really useful for him as well, but I just think he does a lot of damage now. The buffs for him were really nice. Just like generally this like patch, I think, helped him out. I like what he's doing. I think Trunks is able to do some really nasty things. W Trunks, honestly. Not much really to say from there. I mean, Trunks has been a day 1 character. He's just like, I've always said Trunks has potential to be like an S tier kind of character, and I think they gave him the tools to allow him to do that, especially the health increase earlier game really helped him out. Next here is actually Bardock. Bardock nerfed. Yeah. It's still really good. Because like I said with Kefla, I mean, he works pretty much exactly the same. His Wrath isn't as long, not that big of a deal. His skill 1 does a lot less damage, which is good, but it doesn't change what makes Bardock really good, which is how tanky he is. The fact that he has Wrath in general. He still has a really good ultimate. Skill 3 could still be very nasty as well. I mean, yeah. I mean, this guy is still very, very tanky. So I feel like Bardock, respectively, is still very good. There's not much to say about that. Honestly, I could just put the rest of the tanks that I think are here as well. Cooler and Caulifla, again, have been in the game since day 1. Haven't really gone really changes. I guess Caulifla, the good thing about her now is that her ult does a lot more damage. So that's good for her. And yeah, I mean, this ult getting buffed really helps her, I think, in terms of like being able to apply pressure. Provoke is still a very good ability, and I think it got buffed recently, so I mean, yeah, W for Caulifla, honestly. Cooler, I mean, Retaliation, iframes, Retaliation ults, Supernova is very disgusting. And I think I really like the flexibility for his skills. You could really change what skills you get for Cooler depending on the situation or who you're teamed up against or who you're fighting, which is really good. Super Saiyan Vegeta. I think, again, like I brought this up earlier where I'm like, I think late game performance really matters a lot. Like mid game, late game performance matters a lot more now. And I mean, this guy, dude, on Superstar especially, but like even like mid game, it's so hard to kill him. It's so hard to kill him. Now, obviously, try not to send in his ultimate, but like his ultimate goes up pretty fast and does a lot of burst damage as well. And he just has so much control over like, okay, you ult here, you can't be in this spot or else you're just feeding this guy. Skill 2 can control a little bit where you're going. Skill 1 has the slow. I think the slow on skill 1, bro, along with the armor recovery, is such a good ability. Really good for this guy. And he's able to pin enemies down very well. Like, I think that slow is a crazy ability they added for him. But again, the fact that his ultimate is now a lot better, I think it helps out quite a lot too. I actually really like Super Saiyan Vegeta. You could argue I'm overrating him maybe, but I really do think that, again, once this guy does get built up, he's so incredibly hard to kill. No. This tier is probably questionable for you because it's just a bunch of question marks. You may be wondering, what is this tier? I hit it just because I didn't want to make it too obvious. But this is conditional Z tier. It's a Z tier if it's skill 2. Z tier, skill 2 cooldown demons. This tier is for Super Saiyan Goku. This tier is for Papu, and it's for the Gammas. Also God Goku. I think that these characters on skill 2 cooldown are Z tier, and that's because they benefit a lot. God Goku probably benefits the least here, but I still feel like he does still benefit from skill 2 quite a bit. I mean, skill 2 plus the fact that his Fury Gauge just like overcharge, like when his Fury Gauge charges up, he gets a reset, and the skill 2 is, it's really dumb. I mean, Gammas and Boo and skill 2 cooldown, well, especially Boo. Boo is like, I mean, honestly, I usually put the text at the end, but like Boo is by far. Like Boo's like best character in the game in skill 2 cooldown. It's actually insane how good Majin Buu is in the skill 2 cooldown. Otherwise, he's S tier. And again, these characters in skill 2 cooldown would usually be an S tier. But I'm gonna put Buu here just because of the convention. Like, I don't like to. I'm not gonna rank a Bardock against the Super Saiyan 3 Goku because they fill different roles. That's a tank versus a DPS. It doesn't really matter. But everyone else is pretty much ordered, I would say. Super Saiyan Goku. Okay, first thing I want to talk about Gammas, actually. Gammas are basically unkillable in skill 2 cooldown. Like, you spam skill 2. Like, if you get this skill 2 cooldown, Buu plus Super Saiyan Goku Gammas, like, you gotta do that. You have to. Oh, I forgot to talk about S rank technicals as well. I mean, it's pretty much just you, Kid Gohan, and 17. I don't really have to talk too much about these guys, do I? Ultimate Gohan, Kid Gohan 17. I think it's pretty self-explanatory for them. They basically got no changes. Though Ultimate Gohan, it takes a little more skill to use this guy. But like I said in the last video, if you know what you're doing, he's pretty much unchanged from like season 3. So yeah. Anyways, Super Saiyan Goku is still pretty stupid. Even after all these nerfs, he's still insane. Unnerfable character. Unnerfable. His K is just too good. They gave him this a slow. I think the slow is so nasty. Kamehameha is still really good. Kaioken got buffed, which is really, really good for him. Spirit Bomb is just still a very good tool. He does a lot of damage. Yeah, just dumb character. Then Z tier are these characters here. I think that you could maybe talk me to like moving someone else instead of Oob here, but like I really still like Oob quite a lot. I think he does still so much damage, and his ult's still really strong, and he has great mobility, and he just melts people. Like, he just like does so much damage. That's kind of it. I mean, Oob's probably still best CPS, arguably. I mean, between him and Vegeta could be caught by CC at times, but that's really it. And it's like, okay, like it's Ultimate Gohan and Kid Gohan, but like there's not really many characters beyond that, I feel like, that could really like just stagger him and just get him killed. He's so tanky, with build up, especially AoE slow. He counters hit, honestly, who I still think is the best technical. Hit is still the best technical in my opinion, because I mean, skill 3 is still broken, his ultimate's still broken, skill 1 is still quite good, honestly, for getting picks. He's still really good at picking someone off. If they're isolated, Hit's still the best character in the game to pick someone off, even with the skill 2 nerf. I mean, he's just a stupid character. Like, the skill 2 nerf is very unfortunate, but like, he's still really, really, really good. Like, everything else is broken still. So like, who cares, right? Obviously these two, again, I don't have to explain too much. God, Vegeta! We can finally talk about this guy at the end of the video. Isn't that awesome? It's supposed to be his video. Kind of. I mean, he's a really silly character where it's funny enough, it's easy to mount him, and you need to play a little bit careful with him at times, because if you don't have your skills up, you don't want to necessarily rush in. You need to know when to use your skills sometimes, or how to time them properly, just to make sure you blow up the gauge. But if you're good at that, he is nearly unkillable. There's actually genuinely 0 point in fighting God of Vegeta when he has his gauge up. You're better off just like running back, waiting for the gauge to go down, and then fighting him again, because there's actually no point, because he'll just be constantly recovering health, and he just becomes very tanky, and he does extra damage. Pretty much, well, he doesn't do extra damage, but he gets the skills back again, which allows him to spam his skills again. I mean, he has immobility right here, which is, I think, really good. I do like this skill quite a lot. This skill is pretty stupid, and they fixed the small issue. I think there's like a bug where sometimes it didn't pull in. When I think they fixed that, so that's good. The skill is really dumb. The steel attack is nice, but like, I think this is really good for him as well, just for like repositioning. But I do really like the stealing attack as well. I find that to be useful. Then there's a map wide ultimate that, unlike God Goku, he still stays at that spot, but it's a map wide stagger. Yeah, it's a pretty stupid ultimate. Very, very good. And this guy's nearly unkillable. To the point where you could run damage cards in this guy because he recovers so much HP. He recovers so much HP anyways. Like, you just run full damage and just melt people down. So yeah, I mean, God Vegeta is really, really good. I don't know how toxic I would say he is though. I feel like it's still a little early on. Like, obviously we know he's Z tier, but it depends. Like, is he a toxic Z tier or is he like a Z tier that's actually, I wouldn't say like balanced, but like you have to still think about how you play with him. I think it's probably closer to the second end thing, but I could be wrong. I mean, he's pretty stupid, so I don't know. This is a list. Also, I want to talk about this. If you're in Hammers, these guys are the best characters in the game. If you're in the Hammer Divine Draw, these three right here, best characters. Majin Buu is actually really good in Hammers because of the skill 2 cooldown, or not skill 2 cooldown, the skill 3. I mean, maybe I just call him a demigod. Hammer demigod. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah, because like I think with skill 3 he could be very good there, and he has the healing still, and he has escapage with superstar that could be very useful for him. Maybe hit as well because he's just invisible, but like that's kind of it. I mean, these two for the most part. Like I think I will put these characters here. Let's leave this. Yeah, this just feels better to me. This does feel better to me. Hit is, it doesn't even matter. We'll just put them right here. Yeah, I mean, if you get into Hammers, you just run this lane, or Boo if you really wanted to, but like just run this lane right here. Like it's dumb. Max Kaioken, just sneak in and hit tower damage with Kaioken active. You do extra damage. Kid Gohan buffs your damage, which allows your hammers to do more damage. Kid Gohan could grab a hammer himself, run metallic. GG, stupid. Please remove hammers. Remove hammers. Like this is probably like the actual tier list, low key, because at the end of the day, hammers I feel like is like every other game. It feels like at this point. So like, what's the point about game? What's the point of game balance when hammers exist? Like this is all worthless since we have hammers. You know, that's how I feel sometimes. But let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you disagree in some parts of the list. This is a funny way to end it off here. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and peace out.